Hello viewers and welcome to the latest episode of the Huddle. Tim Poole here, editor of Gambling Insider, and I'm with a familiar face, Paul Burns, CEO of the Canadian Gaming Association. Paul, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you on. And since Ontario regulated its market, I think it's been you've had a lot to talk about.
Well, we have. It's and it's been some this week here at ICE, but we've had a really robust launch of the market when you're looking now at 49 companies, 72 sites, looking like the market will annualize around 2.5 billion in GGR in its second year. I think that's a tremendous, really recognition of how the market was framed. The regulatory environment, because of the number of interested parties, and there are still companies interested in entering the marketplace.
Yeah. I think every week every week or every couple of weeks, we're definitely reporting on someone who signed something in Ontario, and I think it's fair to say as well that, as you've touched on, a lot of compliments, a lot of positive feedback about how it was framed and the regulatory framework, effectively.
Yeah, and it's been an open dialogue from the very, very beginning. We had the journey began actually in early 2019 for Ontario through consultation, but they started by coming to industry to talk, and they haven't stopped. And that's been a real credit to both the regulator and iGaming Ontario as the market manager to be able to continue to dialogue with industry. And as we go forward, they're learning, everybody's learning things, and we hope to that change will come as needed, when needed, to tweak some things, because there's a few things that we'd like to see differently. But otherwise, it's been very good and very strong, and for us, encouraging that hopefully other provinces start to look at it.
Yeah. So the Canadian Gaming Association, you guys yourselves, what are any latest developments that you have specifically in terms of things you're doing and programs you're driving?
Yeah, for 2024, it's going to be quite a busy year. We launched in December of 23 an initiative for us as an action plan for promoting responsible play, and it's really a way for industry. We're going to be telling the industry stories and the commitments they have to ensuring healthy play by players. So there's the strong RG commitments in terms of the work the industry does. We're also working on guiding principles for the industry, helping the wider range of operators who have now entered Canada's private operators in Ontario, suppliers who want to make sure that their commitment to safer play and player protection is there and known and being a part and sharing their voice. So we're going to start talking more, and we're working with all the stakeholders to begin that conversation because it's important. We want healthy relationships with players. We have a robust set of regulatory standards in Ontario that frankly not enough people in Ontario know about. And that's one of the things there is. We're going to talk about why a regulated market's important and why you play with operators who have that iGaming Ontario seal on their sites. And that's something that we need to do more of. And we're going to work with AGCO and IGO as our industry partners to be able to do more of that, because that's really going to only continue the success.
Yeah. Now, very excitingly, I mean, we talk a lot about Ontario, but I usually ask you, what about any other provinces? How are they looking to follow? But very excitingly, we can talk about Alberta, because there has been some significant movement in the province.
There has. I mean, the minister responsible for Service Alberta and raid-type production in Alberta was responsible for the gaming agency, Alberta Gaming, was put in his mandate letter from his premier as he began his tenure as minister to begin, the introduction of a regulated iGaming market and an iGaming strategy for the province. Alberta is a very pro-business jurisdiction, 5.5 million people in the province. And
it's already got a lottery as well.
We've got very strong lottery, a very strong gaming market, some of the highest per capita spend in the country, partly because they have some of the highest disposable incomes in the country with the low tax rates. But they're starting that journey. Minister Nally visited ICE with the Attorney General of Ontario, who's responsible for the AGCO and IGO, being able to look to a jurisdiction that's a little farther along in its journey has helped, and what we can learn and share with Alberta as they begin their dialogue. It's going to be important because we think that there's a lot of good positive outcomes from more jurisdictions creating regulated environments. It's easier to police the illegal market when you have more jurisdictions in Canada that have signed on to have a regulated market, and so it's been a positive extent. They're very early in their journey, but the minister's very, very excited about it, and it's very positive in terms of wanting to make sure and people know about not only the operating opportunities, but also come and locate your business in Alberta. He's very much selling that province, and that's great, and we really appreciate him making time to, as he attended ICE, to make that commitment to the industry and to learn. And so we're hoping positive things. They're early on in their journey, so no timelines yet, but I think that there's definitely a commitment to see it through.
Sure. So one down with Ontario, maybe half down with Alberta. Any other provinces that might be closer along the journey than others?
At this point, it's hard to tell. There's a lot of conversations. There's a lot of evaluation. Ontario continues to show that there's a resilience that their provincial lottery corporation, OLG, saw their business and market share rise because they came to compete. That it wasn't the death knell for their own agency, and actually was the opposite. So there's those learnings, because there was fear in a lot of places about what could happen and what won't happen. And what they're seeing is a lot of positive. And so the learning, the conversations, and the understanding that, and I think they all know, regulated gaming is important. It's about consumer protection, consumer choice in that marketplace, because obviously consumers want more than one option. And so we're positive that the conversation now getting going, and I think Alberta's momentum will only help others.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a final note. Obviously, everything we've talked about so far, it seems a positive time for Canadian gaming, or certainly Canadian regulated gaming. If there was anything you would pick out in 2024 to maybe look out for example, I know you said in Alberta it's a bit early for timelines, but what can we expect generally? Anything that we might have mark on our calendars, or any goals for the year?
Well, I think obviously we still want to make sure that industry and the companies in the gaming marketplace know that it's a good place to come and do business. We want to make sure that we're going to fight to continue to keep cost of compliance at a reasonable level, that entry to market and the barriers are fair and reasonable. And so we're looking at all of those continually to make sure, as the CGA, we represent private sector operators in the industry and the business, that those opportunities are there for them, and it's done, and because it's been a great industry in Canada. It's created a lot of jobs and a lot of economic benefits, and so we want to keep telling those stories to make people know that regulated gaming only can improve that. And so we're on that mission this year, and so it's going to be fun.
Brilliant. Well, Paul, pleasure as always. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, thanks for watching.